I was really looking forward to One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of the best filmmakers working right now, and pair him with such a talented cast, you know you're going to get one of the best films of the year. Then reviews begun to come out of premieres and early screenings, and I didn't see one that was below 4 stars, let alone mixed or bad. You know, I kind of expected these results from this film, but to see them was actually just brilliant, and now having seen the film, I agree with everyone. This might just be the best film of the year so far. Now, there's an argument there with Sinners, but there's a lot of Oscar and Best Picture talk for One Battle After Another right now, and rightfully so, but I'll get into that later. In One Battle After Another, a group of ex-revolutionaries must protect one of their own after their enemy resurfaces and tries to take them down. This is a father-daughter thriller in which is so intense. The pace is quick, but you do have moments to breathe, which I appreciate because you can actually keep up with what's going on and feel the levels of this film because the stakes are really high here. I mean, it's a father trying to fight to get his daughter back. What I find really impressive as well, that no matter in a fast-paced scene or a lesser fast-paced scene, character relationships still build. You see how the French 75 are, what they stand for, along with their relationship with not just Lockjaw but society. You see Bob and Willard's relationship. You understand all of the characters and all of the character relationships while still feeling really tense. I watched an interview recently where Leonardo DiCaprio said, "I can't remember a movie that has come out in recent history that doesn't have any sort of genre to it other than being incredibly topical and holding up a mirror to the state of the world that we're living in." This was in an interview from Odeon, which is a cinema company in the UK. I'll leave a link to the video. It's a really, really short video. But in One Battle After Another, the French 75 are rescuing immigrants from detention centres. They bomb offices of politicians. You know, they bomb power lines. They rob some banks. They're rebelling against issues in which are significant and prevalent in today's world. And like what Leo said, the film is holding up a mirror to society as we look at these issues. The intensity and investment in the film which I had, because I was engaged for the entire runtime, was very well supported by the score and the camera work. Jonny Greenwood, who scores his 6th film for PTA, does such a great job in keeping you on the edge of your seat and keeping you anxious. It moves the film along with that tone, and it's a really noticeable score. Because of that, it's probably one of my favourite scores of the year so far. There's also really smart work with the cameras. There's a few close-up shots, a little bit shaky, focusing on one particular thing, and this just enhances the sense of the unknown and the unpredictability on your mind, because you sort of lose track of the other things and you don't know where some sort of things are. There is a scene which has been spoken about quite a lot which fully emphasises this, if I didn't explain that properly. There's a car chase scene which only really shows one of the cars at once and shows like a couple of hills on the road. You're really close to these cars and you're really close to the road, so you don't entirely know how far away or ahead each car is. You don't know if one car is catching the other or if one is losing the other. You just have to hope. It's really, really nice. They're really, really good shots. Speaking of being engaged, the film is 2 hours and 41 minutes long, and it really doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like one of the longest films of the year because time just flies. You're so invested in the story, you're invested in these characters, you're feeling a lot of things, and I left the film genuinely thinking that film had to be 90 minutes. I knew it was 2 hours 41 minutes. I said it had to be 90 minutes because there's no way I just sat in this same cinema screen for 3 hours. But I did. The acting in this film is immense. Leonardo DiCaprio plays a paranoid, anxious father who struggles to deal with the past, especially regarding Perfidia Beverly Hills and the history of the French 75. Arguably his worst nightmare has come true. He never thought that Stephen Lockjaw would come back for them. The anxiety and desperation that he has plays into the humour in which Bob exudes a lot of. I didn't expect loads of that. It was a surprise, but a nice surprise because it plays into the character and the film. Without the humour, I don't think the film would keep me as engaged as I was. Sean Penn does a great job of making me hate his character and his motivations. I was slightly scared of him, and there were some great mannerisms in there that he puts on. Teyana Taylor's great. You can feel her character's passion for the rebellion and her energy through that acting. Chase Infinity was really great. She matches the anxiety and dismay that Leo has. This was the first project of Chase Infinity's that I've seen, and I'm really excited to see more of what she can do. Benicio del Toro added to that chaos and humor, and Regina Hall brought a sense of hope and togetherness, which is also present in the father-daughter relationship. I thought she was going to be in this a lot more than she was, though. It really didn't feel like she was in this film that much, which I didn't expect, but I would have loved more of her. Now on to the Oscars. It's currently Sinners versus One Battle After Another right now. I do think the recency bias will be with One Battle After Another, but they're both incredible films in their own right. For sure, the top two of the year right now. I didn't go to Cannes, Venice, or TIFF, but I am going to London, so maybe that will change. Maybe I'll see quite a few more films which will try and enter the top two, top three. But they are absolute locks in a lot of categories. One Battle After Another has picture, director, screenplay. It's loosely based off of the novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. If it's not, I apologise. But it'll be adapted. Leo, I think, will get in. Something to note, though, lead actor is probably one of the most stacked categories this year. So, bit difficult to predict lead actor, but I do currently have him in my top 5. Sean Penn has a great shot as well in getting into supporting actor. Techs are very difficult to predict, especially now. We're not even in October yet. I'd love for it to get a few. Score is the main one. I for sure have it in my top 5 now for score. That's the main tech to notice. Sinners will be getting more nominations than One Battle After Another because of the techs. Whether this influences Best Picture, it might do. Maybe it doesn't influence it as much as I think it does. Not that I don't think Sinners deserves Best Picture, because it absolutely does. One Battle After Another also deserves Best Picture, but it's very interesting to see if that will actually affect the race. But currently, it's a good race. I think it will be a great race. It's a current Warner Bros. 1-2 right now. Do they have to have a choice on who they're going to campaign more? Potentially. I don't think that will really be an issue, though. I think they're both well marketed enough to appeal to all Oscar voters and like general publics and stuff. But Warner Bros. Have had a great year, a really, really good year. So pat on the back, Warner Bros. One Battle After Another is currently, and yes, I've only seen the film once, the best film of the year so far for me. The energy and intensity was so anxiety inducing, where I was fully engaged for the entire 162-minute runtime, and it's packed with some absolutely incredible performances. This is also the film of PTAs which has the most appeal to a wider audience, I would say, which is great so that a lot more people can be introduced to one of the best filmmakers working right now, and I'm very excited for that. So I'm going to give One Battle After Another 5 stars. If you enjoyed the review, please like and subscribe and look at all the other socials. It would be much appreciated. And if you've seen the film, please let me know what you thought. Do you agree with me, or are you a little bit underwhelmed by the film? But yeah, let me know. And to all those who saw this film in VistaVision, I'm unbelievably jealous. I'll see you in the next.